We need 100,000 people here fighting. This square should be filled with thousands of people from every country. We've only got 50 countries represented. We've got 190 countries. So obviously we're missing 140 countries. So that's unacceptable. So, you know, every representative, every civilian from every country needs to come here. You know, this is an indictment of every civilian's good and evil compass. You know, if you're not here and you're sitting on your couch watching TV, then you're not doing the right thing. You know, this is about caring and kindness and loving and altruism and everything that's good in the world.
Now, in the bushes where this guy was is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off.
Take 2 steps to your right. Take 2 steps to your right. Come back. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking. Keep that long. We need to walk out. Take 2 steps to your right. Take 2 steps to your right. Come back. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking. Keep that long. We need to walk out. We need 100,000 people here fighting. This square should be filled with thousands of people from every country. We've only got 50 countries represented. We've got 190 countries. So obviously we're missing 140. We need 100,000 people here fighting. This square should be filled with thousands of people from every country. We've only got 50 countries represented. We've got 190 countries. So obviously we're missing 140 countries. So that's unacceptable. So, you know, every representative, every civilian from every country needs to come here. You know, this is an
Noé, ¿por qué te necesitamos, Sandra? Oh, shit. I'm glad Sandra's here to witness this. We need a booker. We need a Miami booker. Yeah. Esto de que, you know, and how do you not check and... No, because she doesn't speak Spanish, and she's being asked to book Spanish guests. She's a you know, palace. She's a wonderful person.
Yes.
She's a gringa living in New York.
Right.
What the hell is she doing booking Spanish guests? She can't even talk to them. The guy could be saying, no, I don't want to do it. And she's going, yeah, the guy says he's good. It's like, he's on. It's like, oh, Jesus. Kind of like the United States. I always remember this story that when the Iranians took the Americans hostage at the American embassy in Tehran, remember when we were young, or when we used to watch that story? Turns out none of the people who were taken hostage spoke Farsi. So that means that their hostages could have been saying, hey, dude, I'm going to be taking you hostage, and I'm going to be in the next hour. And the guy's going, okay, cool, man, got it. Let's do it. I'm ready. It's like, how do you tell people to do a job if they don't, you know? That's crazy. Well, maybe we could put Sandra on the air. She's smart and speaks perfect Spanish. Sandra? No luck? Can't get a hold of the guy.
Yo las aprendí.
Who booked him? He's not responding. Did she know we were doing the show with her guest today at 2? That's her job, right?
Cuando saca, cuando te
Oh, shit. Sandra, ¿qué podemos hacer? Sandra, ¿tú te atreves a hablar conmigo en el aire? Hablar del tema que te acabo de leer.
Ah, claro.
¿Puedes hacerlo?
Sí, claro.
Te voy a presentar como una productora con años de experiencia en el giro de periodismo, periodista que ha trabajado en Miami por muchos años. All right, let's do that. Ven para acá. You're going to use her on the air?
yeah.
All right, Sandra will do it.
We got a mic up, Sandra.
She's a journalist. She's got experience. No, let's just use Sandra.
Invitado dónde está, en Bogotá.
Do you want to do her up here? On the air, over here, live?
Yeah.
Or do you want to just put her on a... But Sandra, ¿tú prefieres... Do you prefer that we put you on a camera in my office on Zoom, or do you want to just sit next to me on the set and we'll just bullshit?
Next to you.
Perfect, let's do it, good. Sandra is a journalist. She spent most of her life working in journalism. She can speak to journalism and can talk to us about why it is that the New York Times and all these other stories did not check on who this guy was. That's what we're going to be talking about. Cool? Perfect. And let them know, you know, like what happened. Yeah, you're going to be right here. Aquí. Esta va a ser tu cámara, pero claro, ignórala. Tú no tienes que mirar la cámara, nada más que tienes que mirarme a mí. Es una conversación, tú y yo vamos a estar hablando mierda en televisión. Y para el carajo, eso es todo.
Está.
¿Sientas? Como... Oh, he's up? Ah, qué lástima. Bueno, te tenemos para la próxima entonces. Huh? We are ready to make the change, baby. No, y si no, ella tú.
Hello. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Lo escuchas? ¿Acaso un 3, 4, un 3? Acá te entra bien.
Sí, señor.
Acá, ¿cómo me escuchas? ¿Aló? ¿Aló, aló? 1, 2, 3.
Him in. Well, but we're going to be running out of time because we got a 3 o'clock show. So we got to get something up in the next couple of minutes here. ¿De dónde viene el invitado? ¿De México? Colombia. Bogotá, está en Bogotá.
¿Era mi celular?
¿Y cuál es tu celular? ¿Es Tigo o qué es?
Sí, pero también tengo un ETV, espérame,
¿El TV tiene mejor señal? ¿Cuál tienes ahí? Tengo pésima señal. Tengo pésima señal.
The guy who tried to kill Trump and why the media never reported on him and treated him like he was some kind of hero simply because he agreed with their point of view, which says something about journalism, right? A what? Are you sure? Who's reporting this?
¿Algún sitio acá que entre mejor?
Oh, be careful.
Puedes pegar aquí en el
Yo
pantalón.
creo que afuera, en la plazoleta, porque acá estamos como un poco metidos.
Estamos hablando de millón.
Trump's trying to explain or near Trump. I only have one problem with that.
Yo creo que
No.
ahí en las banderas quizás.
This is America.
¿Estás de acuerdo que se puede aceptar?
There's cars with explosives everywhere. There's guns everywhere. Every idiot has a machine gun in his basement. So be careful with.
Habrá algún sitio donde tengan
And what
Wi-Fi
does
que no pueda
near
conectarse con
mean?
el prensa.
Yeah. Is that a mile? 2 miles? 2 blocks? 50 feet? That's when you start thinking like a
Ay,
journalist.
no. Que
Start
salga,
doubting
puede
shit.
ser.
Somebody comes to you and say, "Did you hear about the guy who they found
Es que aquí la señal
who was
es
bad
terrible.
and did something terrible and he lived near a school?" And you go, there are a lot of questions in what you just said. Found explosives in a car near a place where Trump was going to speak. How near? Oh, close. How close?
¿Me dejas sentar? Ahí.
Blocks. How many blocks? How big were the blocks? Of
Oh, yeah.
course. No, he's wrong.
Okay.
He's absolutely wrong. I didn't say don't believe the media. I said don't believe bad information, and usually bad media gives itself away.
A ver, sabe.
No, wrong again. Ask the right questions. That's what you need to do. Ask the right questions. I smell bullshit from a mile away, man. Like as soon as you told me that story, I was like, yeah, right. If you really had a story about somebody who was planning to kill Trump, wouldn't you write a headline that says they found a guy with a gun 10 feet from Mr. Trump, and he was attempting to point a gun in Mr. Trump's direction. That's a story. They found a guy who happened to have ammunition, and he was somewhere near a place where Trump would be speaking later that night. Don't you hear the bullshit in that story? It's just like, of course there was a guy with ammunition somewhere near where Mr. Trump was going to be speaking later that night. This is America. There's a guy with ammunition everywhere. There's a guy with ammunition outside this building right now. Does that mean he's coming to kill me? Maybe. No.
Sí, ¿cómo estás? ¿Me escuchas tú a mí? Perfectamente. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Uno, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Uno, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Perfecto. Hola, Rick, qué pena.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Cómo estás, Juan? ¿Me escuchas?
No escucho.
Mira a ver si...
Ya, acá ya te escucho perfecto.
Bueno, perfecto, Juan. ¿Todo bien? ¿Cómo te sientes?
Muy bien, muy bien. Qué pena la demora. Un día movido y el internet no está hoy en su mejor momento.
No importa, viejo. Lo más importante en la vida es tener un buen resultado. Así que vamos a hacer eso y vamos con todo. Y no importa. Y gracias. Y gracias.
No, a ti, qué pena.
Dale. Ok, si Víctor, si están listos ustedes en la cabina, vamos a hacer esto. Perfecto. Soy Rick Sánchez, Impacto Directo, y esto es lo que necesitas saber en el día de hoy. ¿Quién es este Ryan Routh? ¿Y de dónde viene su obsesión con Ucrania? Te lo diré. Vamos con todo. Ok, vamos a empezar con esto. Tú sabes que desde que yo aprendí y aprendimos todo, que otra persona intentó posiblemente matar al expresidente Donald Trump y aprendimos quién era este sospechoso, yo personalmente me sorprendí. Me sorprendí por la publicidad que ya se había atraído este hombre. Miren.
Take 2 steps to your right. Take 2 steps to your right. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking. Keep that low. Keep on going.
Hey, Louis, I got the wrong script. That one says VO, and we changed that to an SOT. So this script wasn't updated. Yeah, and if we don't fix it now, then we're going to have problems later on when I'm going like, wait, that's not what I wrote or whatever.
Ejemplo.
Soy Rick Sánchez, Impacto Directo, y esto es lo que necesitas saber en el día de hoy. ¿Quién es este Ryan Ruth? ¿Y de dónde viene su obsesión con Ucrania? Te lo diré. Vamos con todo. Tú sabes que desde que aprendimos que otra persona intentó matar al expresidente Donald Trump y aprendimos quién era este sospechoso, yo la verdad que me sorprendí por la publicidad que este hombre había traído antes de este arresto.
Driver, take 2 steps to your right. Take 2 steps to your right. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking. Keep that long.
Y yo estoy hablando no de la publicidad, no estoy hablando de su nueva fama después de ser arrestado, como vemos en ese video, huyendo de los disparos de unos agentes del servicio secreto, quienes lo vieron escondido detrás de unos árboles en el campo de golf donde estaba jugando el expresidente. No, cuando yo digo que estoy impresionado con la fama que ha atraído este nuevo casi asaltante, no me refiero a su nueva fama, me estoy refiriendo a la fama que ya había establecido en los años previos, cuando él se convirtió o lo convirtieron en la imagen estadounidense de la causa ucraniana. Parece que lo que tenía este hombre Ryan Ralph con Ucrania era una obsesión. No hay otra palabra que cabe. Y déjame decir que es posible que ni esa palabra puede realmente expresar a dónde llegó este hombre en hacerse la persona ficticia, el hombre del momento, de la hora, de esta causa. Y por esa razón tenemos que hacer las siguientes preguntas. ¿Cómo llegó Ralph a esa obsesión? ¿Qué estaba leyendo? ¿Qué es lo que estaba escuchando que lo llevó a ese lugar tan oscuro? Y otra pregunta, ¿de dónde sacó este hombre el dinero para viajar a Hawái, de Hawái a Ucrania y después de Ucrania a Hawái? ¿Cómo fue posible que él pudo ir a Washington en varias ocasiones, donde se reunió con líderes del gobierno norteamericano? ¿Quién lo conectó con los comandantes del ejército ucraniano? ¿Quién en el gobierno de aquí lo asistió en reclutar soldados del Talibán? Y posiblemente la pregunta más importante de todas es esta. ¿Cómo es posible que un hombre sin recursos, sin dinero y con una historia criminal terrible pueda lograr todo esto que le acabo de decir, sin nadie darse cuenta quién es? Mira, aquí lo vas a ver en su gloria, en su gloria, actuando como si fuera él el vocero de la campaña mundial para asistir a Ucrania.
We need 100,000 people here fighting. This square should be filled with thousands of people from every country. We've only got 50 countries represented. We've got 190 countries. So obviously we're missing 140 countries. So that's unacceptable. So, you know, every representative, every civilian from every country needs to come here. You know, this is an indictment of every civilian's good and evil compass. You know, if you're not here and you're sitting on your couch watching TV, then you're not doing the right thing. You know, this is about caring and kindness and loving and altruism and everything that's good in the world.
Ay, capitán. Tú sabes que en la mayoría de los casos, cuando alguien intenta asesinar un expresidente o un presidente, lo matan. Casi siempre, ¿no? Pero en este caso no. Como vieron ustedes, Ralph está vivo. Y por esa razón es posible que en el futuro pudiéramos nosotros aprender las respuestas a estas preguntas que acabo de hacer. Pero si tenemos que depender de las obras de los periodistas estadounidenses, tengo malas noticias para ustedes. Dudo que vamos a aprender la verdad. ¿Sabes por qué? ¿Sabes por qué? Porque después de décadas yo trabajando en las cadenas de noticias en Estados Unidos, mi experiencia me dice que no lo van a reportar. ¿Y sabes por qué no lo van a reportar? Porque la realidad es que los periodistas estadounidenses se sienten más comprometidos con el gobierno y sus amigos o fuentes en el gobierno que en su compromiso con el pueblo y con su audiencia, sean oyentes o televidentes o sus lectores. Es decir, si el gobierno no quiere que tú sepas los datos del señor Ralph que acabamos de ver, no lo vas a aprender, ni del New York Times, ni de la cadena CNN. De la manera que yo lo veo, por lo menos, la época del compromiso que existía antes entre los periodistas de grandes medios y su público, ya no existe. Ya no existe. Déjame contarte lo que yo noté cuando me desperté esta mañana y me puse a leer o investigar este caso del señor Roth. Me sorprendí con la cantidad de artículos que encontré yo mencionando y hasta adulando este hombre. Encontré que muchos de los grandes periódicos, incluyendo el New York Times, el más grande de todos, ya le habían hecho cobertura el año pasado a este hombre. Y más allá, lo presentaron como si fuera un héroe de la causa ucraniana. Por ejemplo, déjame ponerte este ejemplo. la periodista que escribió este artículo que están viendo ustedes ahí, parece que ahora se siente mal y culpable por lo que hizo, por lo que escribió. Mira lo que escribe en este nuevo titular, donde ella misma se pregunta por qué los periodistas como yo tomamos en serio a este hombre, Ryan Routh. Y tú sabes que como ella, hay muchos ahora que se están haciendo la misma pregunta, o se deben de hacer la misma pregunta. Hubieran hecho esa misma cosa con otra fuente, si la causa de la fuente fuera diferente. Me pregunto, ¿no? ¿O es que solamente tratan así a alguien que comparte la narrativa de sus amigos en el gobierno? Ese es el problema. Eso no es periodismo. Y si eso es lo que hicieron, y me parece obvio que es lo que hicieron, ¿no? ¿Qué nos dice? ¿Es el deber de un periodista defender la verdad que necesita su audiencia o son las necesidades de relaciones públicas de su gobierno lo que ellos defienden? Me parece que sabemos lo que hicieron en este caso. Déjame leerte como esta reportera que te acabo de contar de ella, ¿no? Déjame leerte como esta reportera nos presentó originalmente a este sospechoso Routh, que hace más de un año, cuando ella escribió este primer artículo. Déjame leerte lo que ella pone en su artículo. Ella dice: viene recomendado como uno de los voluntarios más capaces sobre el esfuerzo ucraniano, alguien que sabe cómo cumplir. Tiene relaciones con los comandantes en la frontera y con los comandantes y los combatientes extranjeros. Cientos de afganos se han unido a la causa por él y les ha conseguido visas y otras logísticas para que puedan entrar en el país. Ha ido a Washington, donde ha podido empujar a los congresistas para que le den más apoyo a Kiev. Imagínate tú, eso es lo que escribieron de él hace un año y medio. Déjame ser justo con este hecho. Cuando Routh, este hombre, al fin llegó a Ucrania y se reunió con los oficiales del ejército ahí, fue negado. Parece que los mismos ucranianos lo miraron, lo encontraron un poco extraño y le dijeron gracias, pero no gracias, no queremos tu ayuda. Qué interesante que los mismos ucranianos se dieron cuenta en poco tiempo lo que los periodistas estadounidenses se pasaron un año y medio averiguando y solamente lo realizaron cuando Routh acaba de ser arrestado intentando asesinar al presidente Trump. Increíble, increíble, pero cierto.
Now, in the bushes where this guy was is an AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off.
Bien hecho, ¿no? Hay otra cosa significante y curiosa del caso de este hombre Routh. Tiene que ver con su historia. Es un hombre en sí pobre y sin recursos. Este hombre ni tenía oficio. Tú ven esto aquí. Se ganaba la vida haciendo trabajos pequeños de construcción y parece que también vendía estos. Esto es como un almacén de madera que él lo hacía y los vendía. Es un almacén de madera en ruedas y vendió muy pocos. Según las autoridades, se pasaba la mayoría de su tiempo en las cortes y en las cárceles. Según su récord policial, que nosotros investigamos, interesante, ha sido arrestado constantemente por muchos delitos, entre los cargos, delitos de armas, asaltos y hasta había sido acusado de uso de armas masivas. ¿Cómo es posible entonces que nadie comprobó su récord, su historia? ¿Cómo es posible? Fácil. Es fácil. No lo comprobaron porque estaban de acuerdo con su punto de vista. Que por casualidad es el punto de vista del Departamento de Estado de los Estados Unidos y de la Casa Blanca también. ¿Coincidencia? Otra cosa. Déjame hacerle una comparación. Este hombre que van a ver aquí se llama Scott Reeder. Es un ex inspector de armas de la UNO que tiene una opinión muy diferente sobre el conflicto en Ucrania. Muchas personas tienen diferentes opiniones, ¿no? Pero él cree que no debemos estar gastando tanto dinero para ayudar a Ucrania porque es un gasto innecesario, dice él, en un país corrupto, dice él. Reiter está prohibido aparecer en las cadenas de televisión en los Estados Unidos. Los periódicos se refieren a él como si fuera un criminal y los agentes federales se metieron en su casa para investigarlo, aunque parece que no encontraron absolutamente nada. Dos casos, dos narrativas, dos diferentes tratamientos. ¿Qué nos dice? Cuando regresemos le voy a hacer esa pregunta a alguien muy importante. Vamos a hablar con Juan Ricardo Ortega. Juan es analista, economista y presidente del Grupo Energía Bogotá, quienes, como muchos en este nuevo mundo, están al tanto de este tipo de temas. No se me vayan. Vamos a regresar en un momentico. Y aquí estamos de vuelta y con nosotros Juan Ricardo Ortega. Gracias a Juan por estar aquí con nosotros y con eso quiero decir que es tan fascinante para mí ver la manera que se ha desarrollado esta historia. ¿Sabes por qué? Porque soy periodista. Me siento mal, Juan, me siento muy mal ver la manera que se practica el periodismo en este momento en los Estados Unidos y creo que esto es un gran ejemplo de eso. ¿Qué tú piensas?
Tienes razón. Están tratando de ayudar el reclutamiento de personas para esta guerra. Ucrania no tiene suficiente gente y tratan de motivar a ver quiénes más se van para allá, ¿no? Hay gente de toda parte de América Latina, inclusive de Asia, que se están yendo a pelear por esta causa como si fuera una cruzada. Esta es la cruzada del siglo XXI.
Y déjame decirte una cosa. Cada persona en los Estados Unidos, o en Colombia, donde está usted, o en México, o en Rusia, en Ucrania, donde sea, tiene el derecho de opinar lo que quiera. Hay los que piensan que los abusadores aquí son los rusos, hay los que piensan que los abusadores y los manipuladores son los ucranianos. Perfecto. Todo el mundo tiene el derecho de opinar y tener su punto de vista. Pero en este caso, lo que vemos es el gobierno trabajando en conjunto con la prensa, tratando de afectar esa opinión pública, adulando a un señor que tiene su pensamiento y ni se dieron cuenta que era un criminal y un loco, porque no le pusieron atención, pero cualquier otra persona que tenga una opinión diferente lo atacan y lo desgracian. Eso es lo que no deben de hacer.
Tal cual.
Desde el punto de vista de solamente comunicaciones, ¿tú has visto este problema en el pasado o crees que hemos llegado al momento donde posiblemente está peor que de lo que hemos visto en otras experiencias? Te voy a dar un ejemplo. Durante la guerra de Vietnam hay muchas personas en los Estados Unidos que decían no queremos estar en esta guerra. Y nadie los criticó. Vaya, bueno, los criticaron, pero pudieron tener su punto de vista. Hoy en día las cosas no son así, Juan.
Se ha vuelto más radical, Rick, mucho más radical. Hoy en día las opiniones están en dos polos opuestos. Y esta es una guerra de atrición, en la cual tú necesitas que cada uno de los bandos mande el mayor número de armamento y de personas posibles, porque es lo que menoscaba en el largo plazo la capacidad militar de cualquiera de los que están involucrados. Entonces necesitan pie de fuerza que Ucrania no lo tiene. Ucrania es un país pequeño comparado a Rusia y por eso necesitan movilizar gente de todas partes del mundo. No te imaginas la cantidad de ex policías y exmilitares colombianos que están atrapados allá sin ninguna opción en una guerra que no es de ellos, que les prometieron $5,000 al mes, que después no les pagan y que no hablan el idioma. Terminan allá sin ninguna opción. Es una tragedia lo que se está viviendo.
¿Y por qué esos colombianos tomaron esa decisión? ¿Y quién los reclutó?
Mira, que hay gente que los contacta. Acá hay muchos asesores militares. Algunos los contactan para ir a pelear por Rusia, otros los contactan militar, que le ofrezcan $5,000 mensuales por un año. Eso es muchísimo dinero.
Oye, José, perdón, Juan, se congeló la imagen. Háblame otra vez un momentico.
Ya.
Vamos a tener que hacer una
Ya
edición.
se descongeló, ya está bien.
Perfecto, ok. Te voy a hacer la pregunta otra vez y lo vas a recoger ahí. Y estos colombianos, ¿por qué fueron a Ucrania y quién los reclutó?
Ofrecen mucho dinero, Rick. Aquí hay unas personas que ofrecen entre $5,000 y $10,000 al mes y se van por un año y tú piensas que con eso vas a tener la plata para la casa que sueñas y los engañan. Después ni siquiera les pagan.
What should we do, guys? He's breaking up again. You want to reconnect with him real quick? You want to try and reconnect? Juan, estamos mirando porque se está cayendo la comunicación otra vez. Se cayó y entró otra vez. Victor, does anybody want to make a call on this? You want to try and... Vamos a reconectar, Juan, a ver si posiblemente refrescamos la señal. Louis, make sure you got a running time so we know we got to go another 6-7 minutes.
La señal.
Ok, vamos a reconectar. Okay. Okay. Got a little powder. We're going to go right into the next show. I love it. The guest was available. Usually we do the English guest at 2 and the Spanish.
Sí, perfectamente. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Te escucho perfectamente. Yes, I can hear you perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. My ID is breaking up. Let me try to find a new source of internet. I have a better signal. Let me try this. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, well, we can't do freezing TV, but I don't know what else we can do. This is where in the old days you always have a package you can throw to. You know? We should start doing that just in case. Might not be a bad idea, Louis and Joe.
This one works better?
He just did. He just
Okay, I'll do it right away.
on the new internet system. He's going to try a different internet. He said he changed to a different server. Hey, Joe, you know what we should do? I just had a brainstorm. Let's have Spanish in case this thing ever happens to us again. Send us or let us borrow or give us permission to use any package that they have done that week or within the last couple of days. So if we're ever in an emergency like this, we could always at least toss to the package and give them a full show. Let's see if they can do that. That would be a great, because look, what are we going to do right now? We can't send them an incomplete show. So if we have a technological issue and everything goes down and, you know, what are we going to do? I could always bullshit my way into a package. That's easy. I could fill 7 minutes, but I don't want to fill 7 minutes just sitting on camera. Yeah, well, what's his name's talking to him right now? How are we doing, Andre?
Hello, can you hear me?
Bad?
Sí. Good. Good. Hello. Hello, hello.
Yeah, mira a ver, háblame ahí, Juan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sí, perfecto.
Ok.
Para mí lo más importante, si se congela la imagen no me molesta, porque eso puede cambiar. Lo que no podemos usar es cuando no te escuchamos. Cuando
Claro,
suenas
acá
como
te
si
escucho
fueras una
perfecto,
rana.
¿no?
Me
Sí,
parece bien.
entiendo.
Sigue hablando, sigue hablando.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Acá tengo mejor señal. Esto debe funcionar
Sí.
mejor.
All right, let's try it. Let's try it. You ready? Try it while we get it.
Qué pena, Rick.
No importa, viejo. Así son las cosas.
Sí, está
Son las vueltas de la vida.
el trabajo que
All right, we got him in a box. I'm going to ask him the question again, Victor. We'll take it
Go
from
ahead.
there. Let me know when you have speed. En 3, 2, 1. Y déjame hacerte una pregunta, ya que mencionaste estos colombianos que van a Ucrania. ¿Por qué van? ¿Y quién los recluta?
Mira, aquí hay gente con historia militar que recluta ex policías y soldados ofreciéndoles $5,000, $10,000 para ir a pelear a Ucrania. Y el volumen es grande, oye, mucha gente se está jugando la vida para irse allá.
Tú sabes que, y le pido perdón a la audiencia porque tenemos un poquito de problema con la señal. Yo sé que tú estás ahí en Bogotá y nosotros aquí en Miami, pero lo más interesante de eso que me acabas de decir es que yo me pongo a pensar ahora, Juan, que no hay una gran conexión entre estas personas y las fuerzas, algunas fuerzas armadas adentro de Colombia y Washington?
Sí, sin duda. Desde Plan Colombia hay una relación muy estrecha de altos mandos con personal militar estadounidense. Y eso hace que les permita seleccionar gente muy formada, con mucha experiencia de guerra, y les ofrecen una alternativa donde les van a pagar mucho dinero, pero después allá las circunstancias son durísimas. La gente tiene comandantes que tienen que tratar de coordinarlos con personas todas hablando idiomas distintos. Y
Hmm.
la guerra es brutal. Esta es una guerra que no conocemos lo que está sufriendo la gente.
Y cuando hablamos, y usted que es economista, cuando hablamos de esta guerra, yo creo que es difícil separar la necesidad de guerras y el horror de guerras y todas esas otras cosas con la actualidad de las necesidades económicas, no solamente de estos combatientes colombianos, sino también las necesidades de las grandes empresas, que hay los que piensan, incluyendo el mismo presidente de varios países europeos hoy en día, que están diciendo, esta guerra tiene todo que ver con empresas que están haciendo dinero en vender armas.
Sí, el industrial complex que mencionaba cuando se retiró de la presidencia, obviamente hay mucha gente que gana con la guerra, pero también hay un juego geopolítico muy complejo de menoscabar la capacidad militar rusa. Entonces estás botando una cantidad de recursos por unos equilibrios en un mundo que tristemente no logró construir la paz después de la posguerra y seguimos en la puja por ver cuál va a ser el nuevo polo de poder a nivel mundial.
Cuando pensamos de la guerra en Ucrania y cuando pensamos de lo que estábamos hablando antes, como los periodistas en Estados Unidos parece que están enamorados con este concepto de Ucrania y en vez de investigarlo, informar a los oyentes y los televidentes, lo que hacen es adular la causa, adular el gobierno y las personas en gobierno y adular estos empresarios que se están haciendo ricos con esta causa de Ucrania. Entonces, uno se pone a pensar y te pregunto, en este caso, si la realidad de Ucrania tiene menos que ver con lo que necesita Ucrania o lo que necesita Rusia y más que ver con las necesidades de los países occidentales, de Europa, de los Estados Unidos, del Reino Unido.
Tiene que ver con la geopolítica de Occidente, sin lugar a dudas. Tú tenías que Europa dependía del gas ruso barato para su competitividad y para su prosperidad económica. Y Rusia tenía enormes intereses en el este de Ucrania por la riqueza de minerales y por la riqueza agrícola que tiene Ucrania. Y esa puja de quién iba a ser el que iba a tener la influencia en un país con tanta riqueza, pues lleva lo que tienes y a unos intereses de menoscabar el potencial militar ruso, poniéndolo a gastar fortunas en esta guerra que no va a tener ninguna solución razonable.
¿Y por qué no va a tener ninguna solución razonable? ¿Por qué dices eso?
Porque Occidente necesita que Ucrania no pierda y Rusia también va a hacer todo lo que esté a su alcance para poder mantener la presencia en este territorio. Entonces, va a durar años y va a tocar construir un acuerdo de paz que se va a demorar mucho tiempo en que se logre un acuerdo entre las partes. Es imposible derrotar a Rusia. Rusia es demasiado poderoso y tiene demasiada gente y demasiados recursos. Y Occidente tampoco puede permitir que Rusia gane porque es su imagen ante el mundo.
Juan Ricardo Ortega, un placer poder hablar con usted. Gracias por opinar y por compartir con nosotros sus pensamientos sobre este tema tan interesante y más ahora con este caso de este hombre que acaban de arrestar y lo que significa todo eso. Le pedimos disculpas a la audiencia por el problema que tuvimos con la tecnología de la imagen, pero bueno, lo más importante es poder escucharte y pudimos hacer eso. Gracias, Juan, por tu tiempo y nos veremos otra vez.
Un placer.
Muchas
Chao.
gracias. Bueno, y con eso tú sabes que vamos a seguir estudiando este reportaje, esta historia, y tenemos que decir que se acaba el programa, pero vamos a continuar hablando, tú y yo, porque esta conversación continúa en X o en Twitter, o como le digan, y me pueden encontrar ahí en Rick Sánchez TV. Rick Sánchez TV. Vendremos otra vez con otro impacto directo. Hasta la próxima.
el pager of it over.
Several months ago, Hezbollah bought a new batch of pages, several thousands, and they are more modern. They have solar system charging. They don't need a battery, but they can be recharged. So all very new. It was a very highly sophisticated and precisely engineered booby trap device that was embedded with explosive with the pager electronic circuit, showing an advanced level of technical expertise. So what the Israeli did is they've sent a message that is urgent, and then it came as in a form of error, and then it was vibrating. So people needed to take the pager in both hands, and this is why more than 300 people lost both hands. Some people lost their eyesight, other people, around 9, died, but there are hundreds of people who had minor injuries.
The U.S. was not aware of this incident in advance, and at this point, we're gathering information.
And what information have you gathered so far?
We'll continue to collect information. I don't have any public readout to give now, but we're collecting information in the same way that journalists are across the world to gather the facts about what might have happened.
Yes, I can. How are you doing? Hey, Jose. 1, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Does the sound good? The microphone okay?
Oh, too much. Hi, Jose. Good. How are you? Oh, not us. We're raining. Yeah, we got your rain. I'm still not used to rain because I'm from Los Angeles. It never rains. So okay, thanks, Jose. What did you say, Andre?
Yeah, you know, I hadn't even thought that we could cover it. What an idiot I am. Fucking buffoon. Hey, Manila.
Hey.
Joe, that was a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? Cover it. Manila! I just screamed at her and she didn't even hear me. What's wrong with you? Manila!
I was ignoring you.
Manila!
I was ignoring you, though.
As well you should. As well you should, damn it.
Hey, so we kicked out the Iowa poll story?
Yeah, because this thing blew up, man. I'm sure you've been reading what's going on. Second day.
Oh, pun intended, or what?
Yeah, blowing up. You're so good. I'm telling you.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah. And I think we got Laith, too. Laith, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Rick. Hi, Manila.
Hey, Laith, how are you? You look good.
Hello.
I like the beard.
Thank you.
I like the beard.
Ah. Well, it's making me look older, but
yeah,
you know, I got my first kid is just starting university.
We
so,
do what we can.
I might as well look like it.
Well, you can always take off your shirt and do one of these.
No, it's not older. It's distinguished. It's distinguished.
Distinguished.
Yeah. Yes, it's good that I have a face that's beard and a mustache work with. Otherwise, I would have to shave them.
You know what the word distinguished means? It's a nice way of saying older.
No.
Yeah. Rick just landing the blows, and Manila trying to give us a shoulder to cry on.
All right. Hey, where are you? You are in Lebanon right now. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm in Beirut.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. I think we're ready to go. Let's do this. Manila, you're first, and then Laith.
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Rick Sanchez here. This is Direct Impact, and this is what we're going to be talking about. That's an actual explosion of someone's pager that they happen to have right near them when it goes off inside a store. This is happening over and over again. I'm Rick Sanchez. It's a breaking news story we're following for you. Let's do this. Okay, so I guess I have to start with the words, it's happening again. We are hearing there is another wave of explosions that have been taking place now in Lebanon. Yesterday it was pagers. Now we understand it's people's handheld radios, like what we used to call walkie-talkies, right? Possibly cell phones, maybe some laptops too, are now blowing up around people, and many are being severely injured or killed again. Now, we've got some exclusive video that we're going to be sharing with you here. It's important to note that this video, while important and certainly newsworthy, is also very graphic. There are scenes of terror that you are about to see. Here we go. That's one of the explosions there. We're going to be seeing several of them. Again, this comes after a series of attacks yesterday where thousands of pagers blew up in what appears to be a coordinated high-tech supply chain sabotage. Look at this. Look at this fire. By the way, that sabotage, according to the Wall Street Journal, was conducted by Israel. At least 12 people, we understand, are dead. As many as 2,800 are injured. Now, we have a second video now. I'm going to show you the attack that took place yesterday. This is the one that happened yesterday afternoon. We reported this to you. Again, very graphic stuff here, and it appears to have happened as the people were simply going about their daily lives. Yeah, these are the scenes. I know it's tough to watch. I mean, some 3,000 people who suddenly something on their body or in their hands or in front of their face just blew up. While terror fills the entire nation of Lebanon as we speak, with people now fearful of being near any electronic device for fear that it's going to blow up in their hands or in their faces or blow up their children, as has happened, or their friends or their family members, all fingers are now obviously pointing to Israel, which is pretty much saying, yeah, we did it. So far, we understand there are about 200 victims, including children. At least 3 people are dead. That's from just today, right? Many more from yesterday. And by the way, those numbers are going to change as this story develops. The Wall Street Journal published an account in its early edition this morning that said that Israel appears to have purposely interrupted the supply chain to cause this to happen, the supply chain of the electronic devices, the pagers, the beepers, the walkie-talkies, or whatever you want to call them, which is incidentally a confirmation of something that our guest yesterday, if you watched our show yesterday, which I'm sure you probably did, who doesn't, we had an investigative journalist on. His name is Elijah Manje, and he reported here this very same thing on the air yesterday. Take a listen.
Several months ago, Hezbollah bought a new batch of pages, several thousands, and they are more modern. They have solar system charging. They don't need a battery, but they can be recharged. So all very new. It was a very highly sophisticated and precisely engineered booby trap device that was embedded with explosive with the pager electronic circuit, showing an advanced level of technical expertise. So what the Israeli did is they've sent a message that is urgent, and then it came as a form of error, and then it was vibrating. So people needed to take the pager in both hands, and this is why more than 300 people lost both hands. Some people lost their eyesight. Other people, around 9, died, but there are hundreds of people who had minor injuries.
I've never seen anything like this, and we've been reporting it now for the last 48 hours. Let me bring Manila into this conversation so that she can weigh in. There's still a lot to say about the geopolitics of now, but just based on the facts on the ground there, Manila, what is your reaction?
Well, Rick, as we know from many confirmed reports now from around the world, that Israel is indeed behind this attack. So this was a state-sponsored event. Now, that said, the components from the initial, what they say was a batch of Motorola pagers or beepers, whatever you want to call them, the components come from all over the place, Rick. We're talking places like South Korea, Taiwan, perhaps even China. People were saying, smaller components. So this is now an international problem about when and where Israel was able to infiltrate that supply chain. And as we've reported before, that there are many countries out there now that have spoken out against Israel and this continued action against Gaza and advancing it into Lebanon to sort of expand this war and perhaps expand into the broader Middle East in order to drag in other countries, including the United States itself, and perhaps the greater Middle Eastern nations around, to make this a huge regional war. So if we stop it there, we at least, right now, the international community really does need to do a real introspection and take a look at where the supply chain failed, where somebody was a mole or a plant. That needs to be step number one.
How it was manipulated. And by the way, of course, the reaction around the world to the fact that many, if not most, of the victims are civilians, as far as we can tell, has been swift. Israel is going to argue that they were only targeting members of Hezbollah inside Lebanon, like they have in the case in Gaza. But as we know, that's not the case. And of course, that's completely irrational and logical, because it doesn't account for all the people who may be sharing the device. If you're sitting next to someone who may be a bad guy, according to Israel, but you're not a bad person, or you happen to be the child of that person, or somebody who's just holding the device for somebody else, and devices that were sold in the open market, for example, to somebody who has nothing to do with Hezbollah. So the targeting of digital devices used by civilians is being condemned right now. And last I checked before I went on the air, by the EU, by the UN, by Russia, by Egypt, by Turkey, by Venezuela, Cuba, just a list of some of the countries I saw over the top. I'm sure by now that there are many more other nations who are not beholden to Israel or to the U.S. Some of those nations who are beholden to Israel and the U.S. are probably not going to say a damn thing. For its part, the U.S. State Department spokesperson had this to say.
The U.S. was not aware of this incident in advance, and at this point, we're gathering information.
And what information have you gathered so far?
We'll continue to collect information. I don't have any public readout to give now, but we're collecting information in the same way that journalists are across the world to gather the facts about what might have happened.
I only think of the three monkeys when I see that statement. I see nothing, I hear nothing, I know nothing. Wow. Meanwhile, online, while the majority of the people worldwide are calling it a blatant attack on civilians and an act of terror, ardent defenders of Israel are gloating about Israel's incredible technological prowess. Among the most noteworthy is this tweet that was published on X by Dinesh D'Souza, who says he found the attack to be funny, and frankly, he seems to be enjoying it. Let me show you his tweet. Let me read it to you. Hezbollah gets a taste of its own medicine. Is it wrong to watch this and laugh? He writes. Wow. I don't know. Manila, let me bring you in for that. Good luck.
Yeah. Rick, the short answer to Dinesh's question is yes, 100%. It's unethical and disgusting to laugh at the pain and suffering and injury of any human life. Dinesh D'Souza loves to kind of caricature himself as some sort of academic and he's so smart and, you know, he's got a PhD or whatever. But when you look at other actual people in the world of academics, like a professor at Georgetown University called Bruce Hoffman, he defines terrorism as, quote, violence or equally important, the threat of violence used and directed in pursuit of or in service of a political aim. Or another academic, Professor Louise Richardson at Oxford University, she says terrorism is defined as deliberately and violently targeting civilians for political purposes. Now, if we look at that characterization of what terrorism is, then Dinesh D'Souza is effectively cheerleading and laughing at terrorism. Terrorism should always be condemned, and therefore I see him as a terrorist sympathizer, and I condemn him for that, and I find it absolutely disgusting and deplorable that anybody follows and listens to this guy.
Wow, strong words from Manila Chen. I've never seen you quite like this, but you know, it's
gross.
It's hard to
gross.
disagree with
There's
somebody.
No humanity.
Yeah, for somebody who it's hard to disagree with somebody who says what you said about somebody who says publicly, I'm sitting here laughing at people losing their arms, their legs, dying, and having their children attacked by booby traps set inside, or explosives inside their technological equipment or their digital equipment. It's an amazing day, an amazing story. But there's a lot to say about this, including what is the Hezbollah story? What is the Lebanon reaction? What is Israel saying? And that's what we're going to do in just a little bit. Thanks so much, Manila. We're going to be following everything that's coming out of Lebanon. Don't go away, because when we come back, we are going to be joined by somebody who's there on the scene in Lebanon, Laith Marouf, who joins us from Beirut. He's a journalist, founder of a TV news network called Free Palestine TV. He's going to give us that perspective when we come back. Stay right there. Laith Marouf is an award-winning journalist who covers the Middle East. Laith, thanks so much for joining us. I guess it behooves me to ask you first and foremost, how are you doing? You're there. You're seeing this carnage. How are you doing, and how are your countrymen reacting, your friends, your family? Draw us a picture of the reaction right now in Lebanon.
Well, thank you very much, Rick, for having and for asking. Definitely the first day of these attacks, now we are living the second day, was a big shock for the population here in Lebanon. Most people went back home and or went to the hospitals to give blood and to help direct the traffic. We saw a national kind of moment of unity where all these differences that existed between sects and regions and religions dissolved, and we saw hospitals across the whole country, 1,000 hospitals being involved in the rescue mission, opening their doors free of charge for the treatment of those injured. Today, right now, we're in the second day, so some of the feeling of anger has subsided, but now we are looking at a new attack that happened today that you mentioned earlier in your show. There is more actually martyrs today than yesterday. Today
All right, we're going to pick him up. Let's see if we can get his shot back up. All right. Stop your stopwatch, Louis.
Both devices attacked yesterday.
All right. Hey, Laith, can you hear me? We lost you. You froze up there for a minute. So I'm going to pretend I interrupted you and just ask you a question in the middle of that, okay? So we're going to pick it up right here with the following question. 3, 2, and 1. Laith, as I'm hearing you describe the scene there in Lebanon, I just can't help but wonder, what's it like to be a citizen of Lebanon right now? And if you happen to have a computer or a cell phone or any kind of digital device, are people just throwing them out their windows? Or how are people, people must be scared out of their minds to be near any kind of digital device at this point.
Yeah, well, this is the main purpose of these attacks. The Zionists are playing a psychological warfare game, and specifically they're targeting to reach the goal of having the conscientious decision-making of their enemies to be destabilized. And at this moment, for the last 10 months, the axis of resistance and Hezbollah have been very calculated in all their actions when facing the Zionists. They're not being baited into situations that the Zionists may achieve goals from. Therefore, what we see is these attacks today and yesterday were designed to kind of sow chaos. And
well, yeah, but of course it would show chaos. How could it not sow chaos? If I was living in Lebanon right now, I would be scared out of my mind to be walking down the street, to be walking by people who may have a cell phone on them, or a pager, or a laptop, or a walkie-talkie, or a handheld radio. I mean, the people have to be freaked out. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get from you. How freaked out are the people? You make it sound like maybe they're not, and they're only thinking in geopolitical terms. That can't be the case.
They are freaked out, but I think the whole world is also freaked out, because what the Zionists just told us today and yesterday is that any device that has a lithium battery that is connected somehow to the internet or a radio signal, just like in the case of the pagers and these walkie-talkies, can be given a command through these backdoor in the hardware or in the software to overheat the lithium batteries as fast as possible for it to blow up. And as we saw today, the 14 that were martyred in comparison to yesterday's 12, the reason that there's more today that is because the walkie-talkies are usually in somebody's hand close to their head and or in the car station just above the window,
Although to be fair and to be hopefully accurate as we look at these unbelievable videos of carnage, I would suspect that there's reason to believe that these weren't just batteries blowing up, because we here have all seen what happens when batteries blow up. Those are explosions, and that means it necessitates that somebody had to manipulate the device and put C4 inside of it just enough so it would cause an explosion. So I don't know. I'm not an expert, and I don't think you are either. But as we get down the line on this and they look at these devices, I think we'll find out that somebody, after they were made, then in an aftermarket way, manipulated them by putting some kind of explosive in them. But as the story develops, we'll know more. Here's the question I want to ask you. And here's what, if I had an Israeli guest on right now, they would say. Yeah, we did this. You know why? Because Hezbollah is a terrorist organization who's been attacking our people for many years. And no, we were not targeting civilians. We were targeting members of Hezbollah only. That's what they're going to say. What would your response be? Too bad, because that was a pretty good question. All right.
Yeah, I'm really sorry that the internet is really bad today. Although I have fiber optic and
Yeah.
speed net. But
And you normally have a pretty good connection, do you, Leif? Hello?
I do. I definitely. I just did 2 streams, in the last few hours.
All right. So I'm going to ask you that question again, and we'll have to piecemeal this as best we can. Did you hear my question?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just say the last part of the question again, and you could pick it up from there. If somebody in Israel were to have said what I just said, that they're just going after Hezbollah, they're not going after civilians, it's because they think Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, what would you say to them?
Well, clearly the Israelis will say that about any of the civilians that they're killing, and they've been saying that for now 10 months, and they will continue to say that every Arab, every Palestinian, every Muslim is a terrorist, that they have the right to kill and or a potential terrorist. So there's no end. What we saw today and yesterday is that the Israelis are willing to cross all lines, and in fact, the Israeli media were so jubilant, they named this attack as Operation Under the Belt. And they think that it's a clever thing to call it Operation Under the Belt. But we all know that when you refer to hitting somebody under the belt, it shows you that you're dishonorable, that you don't, follow any regulations. And that is the way that the Israeli military and the Israeli intelligence services act anyways. This is the norm for them, to cross all decency, cross all lines of international law and rules of engagement and war. And, the best example of that is how the quote-unquote Israeli martial arts Krav Maga is the only martial art that allows you to punch for somebody in the groin or hit them in the back of the head. Mm-hmm. This is Israel. Israel is a genocidal entity, and nothing will be a red line.
But let me go back to my question now. They would say that Hezbollah members are terrorists. That's what they say. I know that in Lebanon, Hezbollah is not considered a terrorist organization. In many parts of the world it is. In many parts of the world it isn't. They would say the members of Hezbollah are terrorists. Therefore, we're targeting them. Not civilians, only them. How does that mesh or jive with what you've seen there on the ground in Lebanon?
Well, the vast majority of those who were martyred and injured up until now, as announced by the Lebanese government, are civilians. And the biggest, constituency of those who were injured or martyred are medical workers. Because, the fact that in hospitals you're not allowed to have a cell phone, you have to use a pager, and the hospitals have their internal pager systems for their nurses and doctors. So clearly this was indiscriminate. They were hoping maybe that they will get some of the first line cater of Hezbollah, but that didn't happen. So if you didn't get any important targets, even if you're claiming that you're doing this to target Hezbollah, then you have failed. And the only intention and goal of this attack was to maim and kill civilians and to terrorize them and to bring the society to a halt.
Everyone's talking. I just read a little while ago the UN's reaction to this, as well as the EU's, by the way. As well as most countries in the world who are weighing in, the ones who aren't waiting for the United States to tell them what to say. And most of them are saying the thing they're angriest about, after they talk about the fact that civilians have been apparently affected by this, if not targeted, is that they're worried about the escalation, that there's no question that this has to escalate the situation. Why would the war cabinet of Israel, why would Prime Minister Mr. Netanyahu make a decision to do something this public, this outright against Lebanon, if he didn't want this conflict right now between his country and so many others to go outside his borders even more, to go beyond Gaza and the West Bank? Is that what he's trying to do?
Because he actually wants it.
Yeah. Why? Why would he want to do? Why would he want to escalate this war?
You see, the strategy of the axis of resistance and the resistance inside Gaza is to draw the Israelis into a war of attrition. This is the way that wars of liberation from colonialism work out when you're fighting a much stronger.
You know what? We lost.
We can take the example of Vietnam and
hey,
Algeria.
Laith, we lost the very beginning of what you said there. So I'm going to ask you this question again, and this will be probably pretty close to the end of the interview. But we lost the beginning, and people are going to say, "What did he say?" So we're going to try this again. So I'm going to ask you again that question, and we'll patch it together. We're going to pick it up with you. Why would Benjamin?
Really sorry.
No, that's okay. Why would Benjamin Netanyahu be doing this? Why would he try to escalate this war? What's your answer?
Because the axis of resistance and the Palestinians in Gaza have been fighting a war of attrition, an anti-colonial, decolonial liberation struggle. And that's the example of Algeria, the example of Vietnam. When you're fighting a much stronger colonial power and you want to get your liberation, that's how you fight it. And the longer this intensity of war continues as it is, the faster the collapse of the Zionist colony is. And in fact,
wait. You're not answering my question. I don't want you to tell me why the anti-colonialists or whatever you call them are doing this. I want you to tell me why Bibi Netanyahu is doing this.
So to escape this quagmire, because his military is defeated on the ground, both against the Palestinians and against the Lebanese, he has no choice but to draw in the West to fight the war on his behalf. And the West is not going to come and fight against the Palestinians in an extermination camp in Gaza, but they will come and fight on behalf of Israel if Hezbollah, a formidable enemy, and or Iran attacks. This is what Netanyahu wants to do, and he wants to do it before the American election happens, while the axis of resistance wants to draw it as close as possible, this war of attrition, to the election, if not after.
Fascinating. Now that, is interesting, that he's doing it before the election, and he's doing it because he wants this to be bigger. He wants to escalate it, and he wants the West to come in and help fight the war for him in many ways. Interesting perspective. And I thank you so much, Laith, for joining us. Sorry about some of the technical issues we had, and we look forward to talking to you once again. That's our show. Remember to always look outside your own box. Truths, they don't live in boxes. So I'm Rick Sanchez. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll be looking for you again.